You ever look at a massive new bridge or a skyscraper that seems to just appear out of nowhere and think to yourself, who actually builds this stuff? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of these giants, a company called WHT Global. We're going to use them as a blueprint to understand how these modern megacorporations really work. It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's incredibly complex. It's not just about hard hats and hammers anymore. It's this huge tangled network of finance, technology, logistics, the whole shebang. And the companies that can manage all of that, they are literally shaping the ground we walk on. So first things first, let's get right to it and figure out who we're even talking about. At its heart, what is WHT Global? Okay, so on their website, this is how they describe themselves. It's a global company delivering comprehensive and integrated solutions. Now, that is some premium-grade corporate speak, isn't it? But what it really means is that they don't just say build a building. They might also handle the financing, develop the software to manage it, and maybe even own the land it's on. They're trying to be a one-stop shop for massive projects. And here's the line straight from their mission statement. Now look, every company talks about excellence. That's standard. But the key phrase to notice here is interdisciplinary approach. That's the real core of their strategy. So let's break down what that actually looks like in the real world. So here's the big idea. An interdisciplinary approach just means they have everyone under one roof. They're not just a construction company that has to go out and hire a bank. No, they've got the construction experts, the energy gurus, the finance people, all working together from the get-go. The goal is to make everything smoother, more efficient, and that's absolutely central to their business model. Okay, so we've got a handle on who they are. Now for the fun part. What do they actually do? What kind of stuff does WHT Global build out there in the world? Their whole business is built on these 5 gigantic pillars: construction, energy, finance, real estate, and technology. And what's so clever about this setup is how they all feed into each other. You need finance to kickstart the real estate project, and you need technology to make the energy projects run efficiently. It's basically a self-sustaining ecosystem. Now, that list of sectors, it gives you a sense of their range, but to really get your head around the scale of what they do, we need to zoom in a bit. Let's just take one tiny slice of their business and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Just look at this list. This isn't even a whole sector. This is just one part of their construction division, what they call infrastructure. We're talking railways, highways, metro systems for entire cities, massive bridges, airports, tunnels. I mean, these aren't just projects. These are the arteries and veins of our society. And this chart really drives the point home. It shows just how wide their net is cast across different markets. It's not just about that heavy-duty infrastructure. They're also building hospitals, hotels, apartment buildings, and office towers. It really hammers home their strategy to be involved in basically every kind of major building project you can possibly think of. So we've talked about the who and the what. Now let's dig into the how. What's the actual process, the blueprint they follow to get these enormous projects from an idea to a reality? The big idea they really push is technology. They want to be seen not just as builders in hard hats, but as tech-savvy project managers who are bringing a very old-school industry into the 21st century. And here's their process, broken down into 4 steps. It starts with pre-construction, all the planning and budgeting. But then it gets really interesting with number 2, virtual design. This means they build a complete one-to-one digital version of the project before anyone even breaks ground. Then comes what they call smart construction, and they wrap it all up with a focus on sustainable delivery. Let's unpack that term smart construction, because it's pretty important. This isn't just about fancy new tools. It's about weaving technology into every part of the process. Think about using data analytics to predict a supply chain shortage before it even happens, or using drones to map a construction site with perfect accuracy. It's all about trying to turn construction into a data-driven science. All right, so this brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. The world is full of huge construction and energy companies. So how does WHT Global try to stand out? What do they say is their competitive edge? On their website, they literally have a section called Why Are We One Step Ahead? So what's their answer? What do they think makes them different from everyone else? Well, their big answer comes down to these 5 points. They've got the experience, they deliver quality, they're innovative, they focus on the customer, and they're safe. Now, to be fair, pretty much any big company is going to claim these things.
The real question is how they pull it off when juggling so many complex parts. But if you boil all that marketing language down, you get to this one core idea. Their main pitch is that they're not just a contractor you hire for a single job. They want to be a long-term partner who creates solutions specifically for you. And that, well, that makes perfect sense when you remember their whole integrated all-in-one business model. So let's zoom all the way back out and take a look at the big picture. What does a company like WHT Global really represent? When you put all the pieces together, the ability to finance a project, design it, build it, and even power it, all under one gigantic corporate roof, you realize you've got something that's doing way more than just building stuff. They are literally architecting the fundamental systems of our future. And that leaves us with one final and really important question. This model of extreme integration, it's incredibly efficient. It lets them build these unbelievably massive and complex things. But as these mega companies take on more and more of our essential infrastructure, our power grids, our hospitals, our roads, what does that concentration of power actually mean for the world they're building around us?